Hello, I'm John Sterling, Editor-in-Chief of Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology News. We've just finished a special session down on the exhibition floor called GENTEN Graduate Bash, and we also had our GENTEN Awards. With me today are two of the award recipients. It's Jill Goldstein and Kevin McHugh. I'm going to ask them some questions about their research, about their experience here at Bio today, and I think you're going to find them two very interesting people because they sent to us some very interesting abstracts of the kind of research they're doing, and we're here today to show it to you. So Jill, let's start with you. Why don't you say where you're from, where you're going to school, and you spent some time around Bio here today. What's your general impression? What sort of struck you? What do you find interesting about the Bio program?
Sure. So I'm currently a PhD candidate at Yale University. I'm studying cell and developmental biology, in particular stem cell biology. This is my first bio convention, and I've really enjoyed just walking around and seeing all the different booths, from publishing to government agencies to academic organizations. I've really also enjoyed how they have different regions to spotlight biology in different parts of the United States and throughout the world to get a little bit of cultural flair as well.
My name is Kevin McHugh. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. Now I go to school at Boston University in the biomedical engineering program and work at the Scapin's Eye Research Institute. While I was walking around today at the Bio Conference, the main thing I found interesting was the amount of industry contacts that I was able to make. So in other conferences I haven't found such a strong industry presence, and here there was a very strong one, and that's something I'm interested in doing in the future as I look towards potentially translatable research.
Jill, my next question is, what first piqued your interest in science, and what caused you to pursue a career in this area?
So I think I was actually interested in science initially from some crime scene shows. I really liked the forensic science and the whole idea of being able to solve mysteries using science. And so that's what initially sparked my interest. I really enjoyed chemistry and biology in high school and decided to go to an engineering school for my undergrad to focus on science, and I really just like learning about science and chemistry and biology in a living organism, and so I've decided to continue doing that work in my PhD.
For me, I think my uncle was a very big influence. He was a genetic engineer himself and kind of opened my eyes to the things that were possible. And initially everything seemed like science fiction, but now I see that some of these technologies are actually being implemented in the clinic. And so initially I was interested, but wanted to pursue it as an undergraduate. Didn't really know what I was getting into, but it turned out to be exactly what interests me now. So I'd like to stick in the field and continue.
I wish I could share with you the number of really fascinating abstracts we received in competition for the GENTEN Awards. More than 10 could have actually won, but we need to whittle it down, and we came up with the 10 best. With that in mind, Jill, talk about your specific research project briefly. What is it that you're working on, and what is it that you're trying to show in relation to the disease that you're studying?
So in my lab, we're interested in understanding how tissues function and how they're maintained, and we are interested in how stem cells are able to maintain those tissues. And so we use the skin and hair follicle as a model to study stem cell activity, and this is a well-characterized system where the stem cells have been isolated and characterized molecularly. And the stem cells in the hair follicle are very important because if they're not properly regulated, then you could undergo tumorigenesis or skin cancer, you could have hair loss or hair overgrowth, and so we're really trying to use a lot of genomic methods to identify global cell intrinsic regulators of stem cell activity. And we're also trying to identify some novel components of the stem cell niche involved in regulating hair follicle cycling.
Okay.
My project involves finding a surgical treatment for age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. AMD is the most common cause of blindness in Americans today, and it's highly associated with aging. So what we're trying to do is use a tissue engineering approach and a microfabricated polymeric scaffold to regrow retinal pigment epithelium, which is a cell layer key in AMD. So if you can regrow and replace this cell layer in vitro, you can then implant it, and hopefully it will restore the function that was lost due to the degeneration of the retina and restore functional vision to the patients afflicted with this disorder.
As I was saying before, many of our 50 or 60 applications were of this degree of sophistication, and the tough thing for us in our advisory board was to bring it down to 10. As you just heard, both of these students are doing some very fascinating work, which hopefully will pay off in new therapies, diagnostic treatments somewhere down the line. At our grad student bash, one of the big topics that came up was jobs. When the students are finished with school, what career path are they going to choose? It's going to be academia, is it going to be industry, are they going to be lawyers, international consultants? There's a wide range of options open to them. So I'd like to end this interview with Jill and Kevin by asking each, what is your long-term career goal?
So my long-term career goal is still in the works. I would say I'm currently leaning towards staying in academia. I really enjoy being at a university, working with students, teaching as well as doing research and coming up with my own ideas and experiments to test hypotheses. So I'm planning to stay at least in academia to do a postdoc, but I'm certainly open to doing careers outside of academia, including biotech, pharmaceutical companies, science publishing. I'm pretty pluripotent, like a stem cell right now.
So my academic plans for now, or career plans, is to stay in academia as well. I hope one day to be a professor at a university working on translational technologies. I'd really be interested in creating some type of spin-out companies or working hand in hand with industry to move something from the bench to the bedside, since that's really what we're all here for eventually, is developing these new therapies that are going to help people save lives and extend quality of life. So that really would be my interest, to stay in academia but work on these technologies.
Well, I want to thank you both very much for attending today, and congrats on being Gen 10 winners. We're looking at our first Gen 10 meeting today as just the beginning of engaging graduate students more in what's going on in the biotechnology world. We have a number of ideas in mind we're going to share with them, they're going to share with us, and we'll eventually share with you, all the Gen readers, Gen website visitors, and all people in biotechnology, because as you can see, we have some very bright, sophisticated, and witty students working in this very important field. Thanks for listening, and goodbye for now.